Thank you for keeping it on Great Day SA. We are near the end of American Heart Month. It is a perfect time to talk everything blood pressure. Here is my interview with a local doctor on this topic. I welcome Dr. Nandish Tukral. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's American Heart Month. We are all trying to educate the audience more about just heart care and heart health in general. And so can you tell us a little bit more about the importance of this month?
Sure, thank you for having me. So February is Heart Month, and despite all the advances in cardiovascular care over the last several decades, cardiovascular disease is still the #1 killer of Americans. So it's a really important month for us to recognize cardiovascular disease and what we can do to alter and lower people's risk.
So it's safe to say the risk is high in our nation.
Correct. So it's, as I said, it's the #1 killer, and the risk boils down to a couple of things. One is obviously people's genetics, which we can't do a lot to change, obviously, but there's modifiable risk, things like high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol management. If you smoke, stop smoking. All those things play a role in someone's risk for developing cardiovascular problems.
Well, thank you for pointing those out, because a lot of people in our community, those are their way of living, right? So if we can just educate them a little bit more on how to reduce maybe the usage of certain things, we can definitely help out. And speaking of reducing risk and all of that, blood pressure is one thing that you mentioned. How do we take control of that?
Sure. So the problem with blood pressure is that it's asymptomatic. So people can be walking around with it and not even know about it. And the latest estimates would suggest that 1 in 4 people in Bexar County have high blood pressure and don't even know it. And the problem with that is that it can lead to cardiovascular problems, including heart attack and stroke. But the good thing is that it's something that can be very easily treated. So it all starts with knowing what your numbers are. So we encourage people, see a regular doctor, see a family physician, get your blood pressure checked at least once a year. There's now monitors that you can buy, keep at home, check your blood pressure at home. The American Heart Association has now provided monitors all across the city, so these are available free for the public. And it all starts with knowing your numbers. Once you know you have hypertension or high blood pressure, then you can work with your physician to treat it with medication.
Are there any symptoms we should look out for that may trigger something for us to say, hey, I need to get that checked real quick?
The problem is that there's not a lot of symptoms that are associated with it unless the blood pressure becomes very, very high or you're having a problem. So we always encourage people to be very proactive, but certainly if you're having headaches, visual changes, other neurologic changes, those kind of things could suggest that your blood pressure is chronically a problem.
Absolutely. And so definitely it's important to be aware, right? And so we want our audience to kind of remember that, be aware and prevent. Is there anything else we can do to accomplish those things?
Sure. So I think prevention is really the name of the game. And again, while we can't change someone's genetics, the other risk factors are modifiable, and in modifying those, you can prevent a lot of cardiovascular problems. So it begins with knowing what your numbers are, what your blood pressure is, what is your blood glucose, what is your cholesterol. Again, if you use tobacco products, stop. And then once you have that information, you and your doctor can work with medication, lifestyle changes, dietary interventions, increasing your physical activity. All those things then can be used to prevent your cardiovascular problems.
Self-awareness sounds like is the #1 thing right now. And you know, we only have one life, so let's make sure and take good care of our bodies. If people want to learn more information about the American Heart Association or everything that you do as well, I'm sure they can visit your website as well. Anything else you recommend our audience do?
Really, the biggest thing is to arm people with the information and the knowledge. So don't be scared to go to your doctor. Don't be scared to know what your numbers are. Know those things. That is arming you with information so that you can work to hopefully prolong your life, improve the quality of your life. And there's a lot of data out there, tons of things online through the American Heart Association, social media. A lot of that is very good, useful information for people.
Well, it was great speaking with you today. You are a wealth of knowledge for our audience. Thank you so much for taking the time to educate us all.
Thanks for having me.